Hello everyone, my name is Ashish and you are watching another Web Guy YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to create this countdown timer using JavaScript. So without wasting any time, let's get started. If you have not yet subscribed to our channel, please hit the subscribe button and also the notification bell icon so that you don't miss any of our videos. Now before we start coding, let me show you the structure of the project. So here you can see we have this container div, and inside this we'll keep the complete countdown timer, and we'll have a flexbox model to hold the boxes for days, hours, minutes and seconds. And also if we set the final date to something which is less than the today's date, for example, let me set it to 2020, and you can see then we'll get this countdown complete box. So now let's fire up our Visual Studio Code and let's get into coding. You can see that we have our HTML boilerplate ready, and inside this let's create a div with the ID of container, and we'll also give it a class of center. We'll use this center class later to center this div. Now inside this we'll create 4 divs for days, hours, minutes and seconds. So let's do that. Inside the days div we'll also create 2 paragraphs, one for the caption and one for the timer box. So basically let's say p dot, and we'll make another paragraph, and inside this we'll add the class of timer and box. We'll use this box class to give it a card-like structure. For now I'll write 00 in this. Now we'll just copy and paste this 4 times. Now change this to hours, minutes, and seconds. Now we'll create another div to show a message when the timer is over. So we'll give it an ID of if expired, and we'll also give it a class of box because we want it in a card style, and we'll give it a class of center. Now inside this we'll add a p element, and here we'll say countdown completed. And that's it. This is the HTML we are going to follow. Now let's come on to the CSS file. We have not linked the CSS file yet, so just add a link tag. And here we'll say style.css. Let's add the JavaScript file as well. And we are good to go. To save on time, I'm not going to write the complete CSS. I'll just copy and paste, and I'll give you a walkthrough. If you're going along, just pause the video and then write the complete code yourself. So first we'll take the universal selector and we'll give some default styling. We'll set the margin and padding to 0, and we'll give the box sizing to border box. Then we'll give a background color to the body. So we'll just say background color, and we'll give it a nice background color. Now if you remember, we have added the center class to the div having the ID of container, and also to the div having the ID of if expired. So we'll grab this center class and we'll use this trick of giving the position of absolute and the top and left to 50%, and then giving a transform property and translate -50% so as to center everything to the web page. Now we'll grab the container div and we'll make it a flexbox model. Okay, this didn't work. Let me see. Okay, we have a typo here, and that's fine. So you can see that we have given a max width of 750 pixels, and we have given a height of 200 pixels, and we have converted it into a flexbox model by using display flex, and then we have set the justify content and align items to center so that all the elements are at the center of the flexbox. Now let's take the box class and let's create a card around these elements. So we'll grab this box class, and now you can see that we have created a box for the days, hours, minutes and seconds. So we have given it a padding of 2 rem and a margin of 1 rem. We have given a nice background color of a variant of gray, and then we have given a box shadow. Then we have given a border radius of 5 pixels, and we have set the text align to center. Now we want to hide this countdown completed card because we will be showing it through JavaScript when our countdown is completed. So we will grab this if expired and we'll set its display to none. So now the countdown complete card is gone and we'll show it through JavaScript. Now we'll grab this timer class and we'll increase its font size a little bit. Now we'll also grab this caption class and we'll style it a little bit. So we have given a text line of center and we have given a font family of fantasy, and we have set the font size to 1.2 rem. And this creates our CSS and the basic structure of our countdown. Now let's have JavaScript to make this countdown timer functional. So we are now onto our script.js file. Here we are going to first create a variable to capture the final date, for which we are going to set the countdown. So we'll say const final date. And we can grab the final date by using a date method. So we'll say new date. And in here we can pass the parameter to the date on which we want the countdown timer to end. So I'll set a date of January 1, 2021 because I'm recording the video in 2020. So I'll set the date to 2021. And we'll also set the time. So we'll set the time to 000000. And we'll use get time. Now let's log this onto the console to see what we have got. So I'll say console.log and we'll say final date. Now let's open the console by pressing Ctrl plus Shift plus I. And you can see that we have got this huge number. Actually, the getDateTime method returns the number of milliseconds since 1st January 1970 midnight. Now why 1st January 19 midnight? It has got a history because it is considered as the official birthday of Unix computers. So let's not get into that. So just remember that whenever you call the getTime method, it will return the number of milliseconds since 1st January 1970. So basically right now we are getting the milliseconds from 1st January 1970 to 1st January to 2021. Now let's remove this and we'll create a timer function. We are using the arrow function syntax of ES6. Now inside this we'll create another variable to get the current time. So we'll say const now and we'll say new date dot get time. So again this will give the number of milliseconds since 1st January 1970 till now. Now we can calculate the difference as const diff and we'll set its value equal to final date minus now. So now we have got the difference between the final date, which is when we want the countdown timer to end, and now. Now if the difference is negative, that means the countdown is over. So in that case, we'll display the countdown over message. So for that, we'll check if diff is less than 0. We'll set document dot get element by ID and we'll grab the container diff and we'll set its display to none. Now also we'll grab the if expired diff and we'll set its display to block. We also need to add one more sentence, that is we'll be calling this timer function by using the set interval method. So we have to clear the set interval method in this case. We'll do it when we'll add the set interval. For now, let's keep it to this point. If you did not get what I said, you will understand that later. For now, let's continue with the code. Now we have some maths to do here. We have already got the difference between the final date and now. Now we want to convert this into days, hours, minutes and seconds. So let's see how we can do that. To convert the milliseconds into days, hours, minutes and seconds, we need to first divide the number of milliseconds by 1000. This will give us the number of seconds. Now we'll divide that number of seconds by 60 and this will give the number of minutes. And again we'll divide it by 60 to get the number of hours, and then we'll divide it by 24 to get the number of days. Now once we have got the number of days, we can display that here, and now we have to get the remainder of this division, and since we have already extracted the number of days, we are only left with hours, minutes and seconds. So now we'll convert the remainder of this division into hours. For that we will divide it by 1000 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60, and that will give the number of hours. Again we'll grab the remainder of this division and we'll divide it by 1000 multiplied by 60 to get the number of minutes. And finally, after extracting the minutes, we'll be just left with the number of milliseconds. So for that we'll just divide by 1000 to get the number of seconds. So now let's make some variables and do the maths in JavaScript form. So here we'll say let days equal to math.floor. We are using the floor method so that we get onto the nearest integer. Now we'll say diff divided by, inside this we'll write 1000 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 24. This will give us the number of days. Then we'll say let hours equal to math.flow, and here we'll capture the remainder. Thousand multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 24, and we'll divide this complete thing by 1000 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60. Similarly, we'll create another variable for minutes. Again we'll use the flow function, and here we'll say diff divided by 1000 multiplied by 60 multiplied by 60, and we'll divide this by 1000 divided by 1000 multiplied by 60, and we'll divide this by 1000 multiplied by 60 to get the number of minutes. Now to get the seconds, we'll say math.flow, and here we'll say difference remainder 1000 multiplied by 60, and we'll divide this by 1000. And that's it. Now we have created the variables for all the days, hours, minutes and seconds. Now let's display this onto our HTML DOM. We'll use document.querySelector, and here you can see that we have the div having the ID of day, hours, minutes, and inside this we want to display the time here. So we'll capture the ID of days and with the class of box to get to this paragraph element. So we'll say ID of days and class of box, and we'll say dot text content equal to days, and you can see that our day is now being displayed. We'll copy this 4 times and we'll just change here. We'll set it hours, and here we'll set hours. Now here we'll do minutes. And here we'll set minutes. Again here we'll set seconds. And here also seconds. And you can see we can now display the difference between the future date and the current date in days, hours, minutes and seconds. Now we want to call this every second so that we can get a countdown timer. So for that we'll use the set interval method. So we'll say const x is equal to set interval, and inside this we'll pass the timer function and we'll call it every 1000 milliseconds. So you can see that our countdown timer is now working. Now we have to fix some minor issues. First is that if you remember, I already told you that here where we are checking the difference is less than 0. That means our countdown timer is over. We need to clear this interval. So here we'll say clear interval, and inside this we'll pass x because we have stored the set interval in x. So that's why we are setting the clear interval as x. Now if we set the future date to something which has been already elapsed, so let's say 2020, you can see that the countdown completed message is being displayed here. Now the other thing which we need to fix is that you can see that the hour is right now in 1 digit, the minute is in 2 digit, the second right now is in 2 digit, but when it reaches 1 digit again we'll have some inconsistencies. So for that we'll fix that. We'll have everything in 2 digit format and the days in 3 digit format. Let's add some checks here. So we'll say if days is less than or equal to 9, I'm using the ternary syntax here. We'll set days. Here I'll be using the backtick for the template literal syntax. So we'll say 00 and we'll do a $, and here we'll write the number of days. Otherwise, if the days is less than or equal to 99, then we'll set the value of days equal to, we want to add only 10 then. So here we'll say days. Otherwise, we'll just return days. So that's it. That means that when the days is less than 9, we want to add 2 zeros before it. When the days is less than 99, we want to add 1 0 before it. Otherwise, we'll leave the days as it is. Now again, we'll do the same thing to hours and minutes as well. Now the hours can go at max till 60. So we don't need to add a check for 99. We'll just add a check for hours less than equal to 9. And here we'll say hours equal to 0 and hours, or otherwise we'll just return hours as it is. Similarly for the minutes, we'll say minutes equal to 0 minutes, otherwise just return minutes as it is. And same for the seconds. We'll set seconds equal to 0 and we'll add the seconds after that, and otherwise we'll just return seconds as it is. So now you can see we have got the seconds as well as hours and minutes, everything in 2-digit format, and we'll get the days in 3-digit format. So let's check. If I set the day to something, if I set the future day to something like probably next month. So if I say July 2020, you can see that the days are coming in 3-digit format, and the hours and seconds and minutes, everything is in 2-digit format. So that's how we can create a countdown timer in JavaScript. I hope you like this. Please hit the like button if you learned something. If you're new here, consider subscribing. See you in the next video. Till then, take care. Bye-bye.